This IBJ podcast is brought to you by Indy Grills, Indianapolis's premier builder of outdoor living spaces. They design and build custom patios, fireplaces, and outdoor kitchens made for real life, from quiet family nights to hosting the whole neighborhood. Winter's the perfect time to start planning your dream outdoor space because Indy Grill's spring schedule is already filling up. So if you're ready to elevate your outdoor space, now's the time to get in line. Start designing your dream backyard. Visit indygrills.com or stop by their state-of-the-art showroom at the Zionsville-Lebanon border on State Road 32.
This is the IBJ podcast for the week of January 12th, 2026, brought to you by Taft. I'm your host, Mason King. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Well, you know it. I know it. We've been talking for decades about the way city and state officials have hitched central Indiana's economic wagon to sports and tourism. Arts and entertainment have received less focus over that time, but the sports tourism strategy has paid fringe benefits by making Indy a more viable option for A-list stars on tour and helping to elevate the city's profile. It also has provided many opportunities for local artists and performers. The latest case in point is Indy's hosting gig for the NCAA's Final Four this April, which will include a series of concerts for big stars and smaller shows for homegrown talents. And meanwhile, a local actor has made a dramatic entrance on the Hollywood Awards circuit, Chase Infinity from the movie One Battle After Another, which in its way helps plug Indy as a conduit for top talent. Indianapolis also plays a role in a new movie from two-time Oscar-nominated director Gus Van Sant about the Tony Kiritsis hostage crisis in 1977. And the city is about to get several new arts venues, providing more opportunities for expression and inspiration. IBJ Arts and Entertainment reporter Dave Lindquist recently crafted a list of some of the best ways Indy area residents can soak in culture in 2026. He graciously agreed to chat about his findings, and look at this, he's sitting right next to me. Hey, Dave, thanks for making time.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so we're going to start in kind of an odd place, and that is with an asterisk. So we are recording this podcast on Friday, January the 9th. On Sunday night, we will find out if North Central High School graduate Chase Infinity wins the Golden Globe for her leading performance in the movie One Battle After Another. And she certainly, from what I've been able to tell from a little entertainment that I consume, she's a popular pick on the award circuit.
Yes, very popular on the red carpets. She's always got the best gowns so far, and it's fun to see a new talent in this context. Theater goers in Indianapolis had a chance to catch Chase quite a few times when she was known as Chase Payne. She's a 2018 graduate of North Central High School. She did multiple performances with the Summer Stock Stage Incorporated Company, including productions in Godspell, Addams Family, things like that. Then she went to Columbia. I can't say that I ever saw her on stage in Indianapolis, and it's one of those things where she's on a rocket now. But maybe something like the Indy 500 could bring her back to town.
Oh my God, of course, of course. I know Doug Bulls listens. Doug, please bring Chase Infinity to the 500. I will say that for the Golden Globes, she is locked in the middle of the murderer's row of all time. She's up against Emma Stone, Kate Hudson, Cynthia Erivo. Am I saying that correctly? Erivo. Sorry. Rose Byrne and Amanda Seyfried. And again, she's all of 25 years old. So
I'm no prognosticator.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's going to do.
Okay.
But I think she has more chances to be nominated and make more red carpet appearances in the next few weeks.
Right. And we will see more of her this year in programs. Tell me about that.
So Hulu, the streaming platform, is going to continue the story of The Handmaid's Tale with a new series called The Testaments, which was a book also in that series. And Chase has a leading role in that. She's also a lead in a film coming up. I don't know if it's going to be out in 2026, maybe 2027, called The Julia Set, which looks to be Good Will Hunting for, a new era. She's a mathematician.
Oh, of course. It's funny how movies about mathematicians are so plentiful. I don't know what it is about our fascination with geniuses.
Well, and it's not a very visual thing. I mean, it's a lot of blackboard work.
That's right. Well, in The Beautiful Mind, weren't there a lot of like graphics, so like graphics flying across the screen? Well, let's stick to movies for a second, and specifically movies with a local connection. On January 16th, Gus Van Sant's new film, Dead Man's Wire, will be released in theaters. It is closely based on an infamous event in Indianapolis history. I know you've done a good amount of reporting on this. What are we talking about?
Yes, I mean, right now I'm pretty ingrained in the whole Tony Kiritsis taking mortgage banker Richard Hall hostage in February of 1977 with a device he referred to as a dead man's wire. It was a sawed-off shotgun. It was a sawed-off shotgun connected with a wire to Richard Hall's neck. So the gun was right on the back of his head, and it also had a wire on Tony Kiritsis' neck. So Tony's idea was, if anything happens to Richard, this gun's going to go off. And if anybody tries to do anything to me, the gun is going to go off. And I tell you, there was a documentary that came out in 2018 called Dead Man's Line, made by a couple of Indianapolis filmmakers. And they recently put this documentary on YouTube for free. And it is really something to see, because it has... So this happened over 63 hours. Tony marched Richard Hall through downtown. Then he took him to his apartment on the west side. There was a press conference at in the clubhouse of this apartment complex. So all of this played out on television. And this documentary really is an amazing time capsule of media in Indianapolis at that time. The filmmakers talked to media personalities from that era who, I know that's been like 7 years ago, but some of them have already passed. So this more than, in addition to the story of Tony and Richard Hall, this documentary is so valuable just for the context of Indianapolis media. Yeah,
and one of the main characters, I mean, in real life, was Fred Heckman, the WIBC newscaster.
Yes, Tony had an affection for Fred, and Fred was very valuable in terms of keeping Tony on as even of a keel as possible throughout this ordeal. All right, so we've talked about the documentary. This month, Hollywood's version is coming out. It's called Dead Man's Wire, and Fred Heckman is not Fred Heckman in the film. It's a fictional DJ portrayed by Coleman Domingo. Al Pacino is in this movie. As you mentioned, Gus Van Sant directed it. Yeah.
I could not be more juiced for this movie. And I'll tell you why. I love Gus Van Sant, and he doesn't make a lot of movies, but some of his movies have been some of my favorites, especially Drugstore Cowboy, for folks that want to go back a few decades.
Never leave a hat on a bed.
Exactly. Also, obviously, I mean, this occurred within my lifetime, and I remember when it happened. I mean, just very, not vividly, because I would have been probably 10 years old. But, I mean, that's a big deal to me. And then, I don't know how you explain this. The irony of it, of course, is that the movie was not shot in Indianapolis. It was shot in Louisville. Can you remind folks why?
Yes. Our state's tax credit or incentive for film productions just can't compete with surrounding states. There's paperwork about what Kentucky offered to this film, $4 million in a tax rebate or incentive. Indiana has had a type of incentive that productions basically said is not worth very much because it has not been transferable. So just the other day on January 1st, a new version kicked in that is transferable. That's the good news. The not great news is the cap for each project for an Indiana production is $250,000. So Dead Man's Wire is not a big budget film. I think they made it for about $10 million in about a week and a half. And they have a $4 million tax credit. And the most that Indiana can offer is $250,000. So realistically, I think the new and improved Indiana tax credit for film productions will be used for TV commercials.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Right. That would have a budget about the size where they're aiming.
Yeah.
Right. Have you seen the movie?
Dan Ben's Wire. I'm working my way through an advance screener. Not watching it as Gus Van Sant wants me to watch it. I'm on a phone. But yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, that documentary is so good.
Yeah.
So if you go see the dramatized Hollywood version, also spin by YouTube and watch this free. So I've seen Mike Ahern talk about how this was a lot of stuff to put on live television in February of 1977. And pretty much all the stations in town just ran it. But in addition to Tony's very colorful language that went out over the airwaves, any second you could have had a very graphic homicide on television. So it's interesting.
Okay.
It's one of those bizarre Indianapolis things.
It is. We're filled with them too. So let's jump forward in time. Let's go to early April, when March Madness will culminate in the NCAA's Final Four at Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, we know there will be a series of outdoor concerts and what I'm gathering is the heart of downtown. This is American Legion Plaza. Is that right?
American Legion Mall. This is a new venue for what's become known as the March Madness Music Festival. In 2015, it was at White River State Park, where the Everwise Amphitheater is now. It was back then. It was basically an open field with a stage. 1 year, I think 2010, it was right on Monument Circle. Yeah, these are free shows where pretty big names come and play.
Okay. Do we know who's going to be on the bill?
Not yet.
Is that unusual, or is that just the way that they roll that stuff out?
I look back in 2015, they made the artist announcement on March 16th. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think they just maybe like to roll up the excitement as the tournament progresses, and that's what you have.
So the most recent, this wasn't the most recent Final Four in Indianapolis, but the most recent time that they were able to hold big concerts. Who was on the bill?
Rihanna.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't think Rihanna hasn't played this market in many years, and I don't think she played it for several years before this. Real early in her career, she played a radio show at the fairgrounds, but the Final Four got Rihanna to come to town. There also was Zach Brown Band did very well. Casey Musgraves was pretty early in her career. Weezer, Imagine Dragons. I always remember these shows because it was right in the thick of the RIFRA time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And more than one performer took the opportunity to put Indiana on blast about that topic.
I remember. We also will see a return of what we call Swish, which in this iteration will be an outdoor art and music festival, but take place at various locations downtown. Is it more or less just in conjunction with the cultural trail?
That's where most of the performances will be. Okay. I don't know if Luger Plaza is part of the cultural trail, but that was a site. So the thing about Swish is...
It's really close if it isn't right there on it.
The thing about Swish is that it was an invention to coincide with the 2021 men's tournament, which was presented unprecedentedly entirely in Indiana, with most of the games in Indianapolis. And it was pandemic time, so Rihanna or nobody was going to come play a big outdoor show. But folks got together and said, let's do a bunch of basically cultural trail sidewalk performances for free, and it happened, I think, at least over 3 weekends.
Right. So the call has gone out now for local performers. Is this a situation where I can pull out my one-man show of Citizen Kane? What are they looking for?
They're looking for musicians, poets, dancers, and actors. Ding, ding, ding.
Ah, awesome.
And you have until February 1st to make that application.
Okay. So beyond the events for the Final Four, we will also have some multi-day concert engagements coming up this year with some well-known performers. Who's on the schedule?
So this has become pretty in vogue, I think, for multi-night stands. I mean, back in the day, it was always, you could rely on Dave Matthews, you could rely on Fish, sometimes Jimmy Buffett would play multi-night stands. But this is kind of creeping out into some other artists. In the biggest room we have, Lucas Oil Stadium, Morgan Wallen is going to play a 2-night stand May 8th and 9th. Billy Strings is going to play the Fishers Event Center at least 3 nights so far. He's got April 24, 25, and 26 on the books. And David Byrne, thankfully, is coming to town with his show, and he's going to play May 1st and 2nd at the Murat Theater. Since we published this 2026 preview that this whole thing is kind of spun out of, They Might Be Giants has teased that they're going to play maybe 8 cities in 2026 of multiple nights in each city, and Indianapolis made the list.
Wow.
So far, they're teasing. I mean, I don't think that's going to be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It'll probably be a smaller venue, but I think that's cool.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the 80s for a second.
Okay.
And David Byrne. So, yeah, Byrne obviously, when he was the leader of the Talking Heads, made, I think what we agree probably is the best concert movie ever.
You and I are on the same page on that one.
Stop Making Sense.
Yeah.
Now, several years ago, he came through town and was at the, I don't know, I forget what it was called at the moment, probably TCU Amphitheater.
The lawn at White River
State Park, with his American Utopia tour. And a situation where all of the singers, all of the musicians are on their feet and doing really extensive choreography with him during the concert. And then I forget if there were a lot of projections. Is David Byrne, so there's a 99.9% chance there was as well. There's a visual element. Do we know if that kind of thing is coming back with this new event?
Yes, he's touring to promote an album called Who Is the Sky? And he did a run of dates in the fall. And yes, the thing that I love about these shows that he does in the modern era, again, like you mentioned, the stage is flat. No amplifiers, no guitar pedals for effects. It's just the musicians. They're free to move around. And the thing I love is that the drum kit has essentially exploded into 8 different musicians that wear like marching band harnesses. And actually that show at White River State Park did not have video projection. I think it was primarily like steel curtains.
Okay.
And this new show does have video screens on 3, basically three sides of the stage. So yeah, it's going to be dynamite.
Did you see the show?
Yeah.
When it was here?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a moment when like just something technical happened and they couldn't come out for like a minute and a half? And like he came out and said, "Sorry, we screwed something up. We'll be right out."
That's the beauty of live music, though.
Yeah, that was really fun. Great show. I remember leaving that amphitheater and everyone going, "God, that's a great show." Okay, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor. This is the IBJ Podcast.
Taft, today's modern law firm. At Taft, we cultivate a highly respectful, transparent workplace that fosters creativity, teamwork, inclusion, and diversity. We couple our culture with a client-first approach, rewarding lawyers who understand their clients' goals and work to deliver success. Taft, the modern law firm. To learn more, visit taftlaw.com.
This IBJ podcast is brought to you by Indy Grills, Indianapolis's premier builder of outdoor living spaces. They design and build custom patios, fireplaces, and outdoor kitchens made for real life, from quiet family nights to hosting the whole neighborhood. Winter's the perfect time to start planning your dream outdoor space because Indy Grill's spring schedule is already filling up. So if you're ready to elevate your outdoor space, now's the time to get in line. Start designing your dream backyard. Visit indygrills.com or stop by their state-of-the-art showroom at the Zionsville-Lebanon border on State Road 32.
All right, we're back with the latest edition of the IBJ podcast, talking with Dave Lindquist about some of the top entertainment options for Central Indiana residents this year. So tell me, what is happening at the Indiana State Fairgrounds?
All right. So in recent years, probably for a decade or more, the high-profile concerts at the fairgrounds during the fair have happened at the Free Stage, which is in the northwest corner of the fairgrounds. And they've kind of outgrown what they did there. And so right now they're getting ready for this summer, and it's going to be a new stage with video screens on each side. A really important thing about attracting or getting artists to agree to come play your venue is what happens backstage. So they're going to do things where the load in is easier, probably some technical stuff that, they care about that's going to happen.
Sure.
And then the actual, the viewing area, they're going to remove some sidewalks and make just a more logical and contoured viewing area.
Okay. Are they increasing the seating?
Well, the new plan will be a capacity of 5,000 to 7,000, depending on, if they have some seats or if it's all just open.
Yeah.
When I talked to the folks from the fair last year, they said that for the Free Stage at last year's fair, they topped out at about 4,000 to 5,000 people.
Really? Wow. I don't know. In my mind's eye, it's like a 200-seat amphitheater.
No,
I don't know. Yeah. Don't ask me. It was a hot day. So concerts there will continue to be free, at least during the State Fair.
Yes, it's called the Free Stage. It is, if you purchase a ticket to get into the fair, you can also attend. Yeah.
Okay.
It's free.
Are there plans now to use this upgraded facility for shows when the fair is not in session?
Yeah, this is also exciting. So I remember back in 2006, they tried a first non-fair ticketed rock show at the venue. That's the All-American Rejects, which is the trivia answer for that one. But so after the fair in August, there'll still be some time left on the summer concert season calendar. And the fair is working with concert company MOKB Presents, which operates the Hi-Fi and Hi-Fi Annex venues in Fountain Square. They're going to schedule and promote some shows at the Free Stage.
Wow.
Which won't be free.
Okay.
I think for those shows, it will be known as maybe the Hoosier Lottery Stage.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask about another venue. Now, this one was supposed to debut in 2025, but was delayed, I believe, to May 1st this year. Is that still the case?
May 1st is the debut, yep.
Okay. Remind me what we're going to see there.
So the folks at Big Car Collaborative have been doing a lot of work in Garfield Park over the past few years. They've had one building, which they've called the Tube Factory Art Space. On the same property, there's a very large building, 40,000 square feet, and it's going to be a contemporary art museum, but also a lot more. Honestly, when I look at the floor plan and kind of the ideas of what they're doing, I'm reminded of what Madam C.J. Walker had in mind for what became the Walker Theater, which was, she referred to it as a city within a building. So just recently, the Big Car team has rebranded their entire campus in Garfield Park as Contemporary Art Museum of Indianapolis, which will abbreviate, and they're abbreviating as CAMI.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main CAMI building is this 40,000 square foot building where you're going to have 6 art galleries, a 4,800 square foot performance space, which means concert venue, 18 studios for artists, 5 storefronts for creative businesses, radio station WQRT FM 99.1, plus a cafe supported by a culinary arts program.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're going to move QRT. Weren't they in the Tube Factory or?
QRT has been on Shelby Street in a standalone building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super fun local radio station.
Yeah.
So I understand there's some opportunities to actually, you could tour the building.
Yeah,
Is that not?
I meant to say something about that. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, don't worry about it. I think First Friday for this, like last Friday,
really? Yeah.
I think that they were saying, come on by, you can take a tour of the building.
I missed that. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
The Pretender in Noblesville.
Yeah, right. Okay. And we have yet another new venue in the works. This one will be on Noblesville's Courthouse Square, the venerable Courthouse Square, which I love, and will target people who are serious audiophiles. And it's called The Pretender, great music heritage with that name. Is it fair to categorize that as a listening room, or is there more to it?
100%. This business is influenced by Kissa lounges in Japan, which have catered to audiophiles since the 1950s. And the people behind The Pretender are the owners of Clancy's Hospitality, the restaurant company that operates the Fountain Room on Mass Ave and Grindstone Public House in Noblesville, among others. And one of the things they do at the Fountain Room, when you walk in, if you look to the left, there's a cool reel-to-reel audio piece of equipment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I sometimes say that I feel lucky that I've experienced everything from 8-track tapes through vinyl, through cassettes, to CDs. We're back to vinyl, and even cassettes are making a comeback. But I've never been anywhere in real life where anybody had a reel-to-reel player. Think about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
When John Travolta goes and visits, John Travolta's character visits Uma Thurman's character, and he's waiting, and they have Urge Overkill's cover of Neil Diamond's "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon."
Yeah.
It's playing on a reel-to-reel player. So this is cool gear. And what they do at the Fountain Room is they work with this company in Chicago called Uncanned Music, which prepares 3.5-hour compilation tapes. So sometimes it's the Fountain Room says, could you put these songs on it? And sometimes Uncanned Music will have a thematic idea. So that's what you get at the Fountain Room. This new place in Noblesville, The Pretender, is going to be really blowing out this concept. So they're going to have an Akai reel-to-reel player, two Techniques turntables, 2 Macintosh amplifiers, 1 vacuum tube, 1 solid state, 2 vintage Sansui speakers, and 5 Tannoy speakers. Sounds pretty cool.
So this will be, I think, about 2,000 square feet. I mean, that's
pretty cozy.
Good space, cozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just within the past couple of weeks, there's a musician in town named Drew DuBois, who is, I think he's manifesting an idea that he hopes to open Dig Record Bar in 2026. And I take Drew pretty seriously because he's in this band, Everything Now. Drew also works at Luna Music. And his bandmate in Everything Now is John Rogers, who last year opened a cool record store called Take Care Records right at the intersection of 62nd and Allisonville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a left turn, if you will, like a really big left turn, to the Isla Jorg Museum of American Indians and Western Art, which will host an exhibit in the spring and summer called Cowboy Couture. And the work will be by an Indianapolis-based creator. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. I've loved writing about the work of tailor and designer Jerry Lee Atwood for a few years. Do you remember Porter Wagner?
Oh, yeah. And Dolly, yeah.
Yeah. So Dolly is always with us in the public consciousness, but her career began as a duet partner with this guy, Porter Wagner, who wore these amazing embroidered suits. And certainly back in the day, there was a tailor in Nashville. His first name was Nudie, N-U-D-I-E. And if you ever see a reference to a nudie suit, it has nothing to do with, poor coverage of one's body. It's a really cool suit that, on the rock and roll side, guys like Graham Parsons and the Flying Burrito Brothers, which came out of the Byrds, they would wear these suits, and it's Western wear that's pretty flashy. So Jerry, back in 2001, when he was working at Cath Coffee and Tea shop on College Avenue.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
When he had downtime, he started working on embroidery projects, just little embroidery projects. And as years have gone on, he has crazy vintage sewing gear, and he's made these suits, which have been commissioned by people like Post Malone and
Lil Nas X.
Yes.
Yes, beautiful suit.
Pretty much, I don't want to say pretty much all, but a lot of the alt country acts that are on the circuit will say, "I'd like a suit that's made by Jerry."
Yeah.
So there's plenty of them, and I think it's super cool that the Idle Jorg is going to have an exhibition of his work.
Right on. Okay, Porter Wagner trivia.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you know this one.
I don't know.
Maybe not everybody. The song "I Will Always Love You," which was a Whitney Houston hit, but written by Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
It was written about Porter Wagner.
How about that?
That was the song that she wrote to him when she wanted to break off on her own, was just letting him know how much she appreciated him.
My only trivia that I know related to that song is that apparently she wrote that song and Jolene on the same day.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good day.
So, kind of parenthetically, I'd like to mention a noted collector of cultural artifacts who passed away last year, and that, of course, is Jim Irsay, who amassed a wide variety of absolutely iconic pieces, largely from the mid-20th century, including the 120-foot-long scroll manuscript for Jack Kerouac's On the Road, an untold number of significant guitars from incredibly significant artists. His collection is now being dismantled via auction, but I understand that there's a chance that some of these pieces will go on tour without humans playing them.
Yeah, this is a real bittersweet kind of thing, if I'm just going to speak freely about the Jim Irsay collection.
Sure.
Unbelievable stuff that was assembled in Indianapolis. And in 2022 and 2023, Jim displayed a lot of the collection at Lucas Oil Stadium and also played his shows with an all-star band. And he took that show, no pun intended, on the road during those years. 2023 even played Farm Aid. So at one point, Mr. Irsay talked about the idea of a museum.
Right.
That necessarily wouldn't be in Indianapolis, but Indianapolis was certainly in the discussion. But I think he was talking to civic leaders in different places. And then he really enjoyed this rock show and free 2-day exhibition. So that's kind of what he was doing. He was like on tour with the collection. So obviously he passed, and the collection is no longer going to be the Jim Irsay collection. Christie's in New York is really, from what I can tell so far, they're going to do a good job with this auction. It starts in March, and on their website it says a world tour for selected items will be announced in January. So why not one more time in Indianapolis? I have no information, but I think it would only be right.
Yeah, you think so. Right. I got one more musical item to ask about, largely because my wife will be very interested.
Yeah.
It involves Pike High School and Indiana University alum Carl Bramel, who is a member of the rock band My Morning Jacket. What's happening?
Yeah, so way back in the day, Carl was the guitarist in a band called Old Pike, which was an Indianapolis band that signed to the label. It was inside the Sony Epic family, but I think they were specifically signed to Sony 550, put out a record, didn't set the world on fire. Carl did different things as a guitarist for a few years, and then he joined My Morning Jacket. Which has turned out to be fantastic, a very high-profile, accomplished, popular band. And he's made some solo records, but this month he's putting out a collaborative album with Tyler Ramsey, who played guitar in Band of Horses. And the duo's album is titled Celestun, and it's mostly acoustic instrumentals. The guitars used on this record are refurbished pawn shop guitars, so that adds a little layer of mystique to this record.
That's awesome. Like, anybody who ever has taken their guitar to a pawn shop will wonder, was that my guitar?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you go see My Morning Jacket, they're one of the bands where it's just a parade of beautiful guitars brought to Carl and Jim James during the show. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The first single from the record was a cover of Neil Young's Sail Away. And the closest they're coming on their tour is Louisville on February 12th.
That's okay. That's 2 hours. That's not a big deal.
Sure.
That's fine. Okay. Can you tell me, while still maintaining your journalistic integrity, what are you most looking forward to? What's the one thing on your calendar you can't wait for?
Well, a caveat of this whole thing is this is a list assembled in December of 2025. So there's a lot of stuff in arts and entertainment that's going to happen this year that we don't even know about yet. But I'm going to try to do my darndest to get in the room for one of those David Byrne shows.
Okay.
That's a podcast for another time.
We just made out a new family budget. I don't think I included that. All right. Well, good luck to you. You have to tell me how it is. And hey, thanks for all the time. I always love doing these podcasts.
Me too. Thank you.
My thanks again to Dave Lindquist. And folks, before you get on with the rest of your week, there are several stories in this week's edition of IBJ I want to draw to your attention. First up, at and around Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Herb Simon and his family have spent more than $26 million the past 2 years buying more than a half dozen downtown properties. IBJ's Mickey Shuey details the latest transactions and puts them in the context of the family's ambitions downtown. Also in this week's issue, Daniel Bradley explains how the owners of Okanori Japanese High Kitchen tried to distill the spirit of a high-end Asian dining experience in the new Carmel Eatery. And Susan Orr reports on the lawsuit claiming that small financial institutions across the state are owed hundreds of millions of dollars held in a state-run bank deposit insurance fund. And again, you can find these stories in the latest print edition of IBJ or online at IBJ.com. I will say it is quite a bit easier to access all the latest business news and all of IBJ's data on Central Indiana's business community and economy if you're a subscriber. We're running a promotion right now that gives you complete access for $1 per week for 3 months, just to get a sense of how valuable and original our content is. Just go to IBJ.com and click on the subscribe button. And thanks again for making time this week for the IBJ podcast. I'm Mason King. Hang in there, everybody. We'll be back again next week.